which big issues for independents and libertarians, because they're willing to say the things that the big parties can't. There's three types of taxation that I want to discuss here. There's a flat tax in the form of a flat percentage, not the everyone pays $1,000 flat tax, but an actual flat percentage of income. The fair tax program, I'm not sure if you're both aware of the fair tax, and our current progressive income tax system. Which would you favor? And if you're replacing the progressive tax, how would you go about implementing a new system?
I don't think any of those three are optimal. Of course, I want to shrink the government to the point where we have non-compulsory taxation. But if I have to pick out of the three, the one that I would prefer would be a flat tax. And the reason why I say that is if all of us feel the same way about the level of taxation, and all of us argue and want the level of taxation lowered because it hits us equally across the board. So I actually do prefer a flat tax. However, we have to acknowledge that the spending is the issue, because the government, once you hit the reset button with a flat or fair tax, what's really stopping the government from creating another IRS, once you get rid of the first one, creating another exception for this business, creating another subsidy for that business or tax code. It's the spending that we really have to attack. But if I have to pick one of the three, I would go for flat.
Thank you.
No tax. No income tax. I lived in Texas for 8 years. No income tax, no state tax in Texas. They got it all from businesses. Texas is a great state. Texas is doing real well. You don't hear them screaming for money down there. We need to figure what they're doing down there in Texas and do it at the federal level. We need to stop income taxes, because the Founding Fathers didn't want that in the first place. They levied taxes against businesses, imports, tariffs, and all that, and that's how the government was supposed to work, and it was supposed to work on a limited level, the government, not in our pockets, not into our households, not into our families, and putting mandates on states saying, you need to do this 55-mile-an-hour speed limit if you want our federal dollars for roads. And if you don't do it, you're not going to get the money. Well, and also for education, saying, well, you need to meet this level of performance, and if you don't, you're not going to get money. But we're not going to give you any money to do it in the first place. So if we get rid of those unfunded mandates and the federal government out of our lives, we can go to a no income tax for the American people and just live off the economy of businesses.
All right, let's take it away from taxes for a minute.
Yeah.
All right. Currently, there's at least 37 states that have some form of a concealed carry handgun permit, and 2 states that just allow you to carry your gun however you want, wherever and whenever. And somewhere outside of that, we have states where you have to get special permits, only police officers, and so on and so forth. For someone in Virginia who's traveling across the country with their firearm, because if you've ever stayed at a roadside hotel, you might want to have one of those things along with you in certain neighborhoods. So when you're traveling from one state to the next and the gun laws in each state change, you're not sure if you can carry concealed, you're not sure if you can carry loaded, open, or whatever. Yet the driver's licensing laws in all 50 states, if you've got a valid driver's license from your home state, you can drive anywhere in America and Canada with that driver's license. So would you favor a system that allows concealed carry permit holders who are licensed and verified by their state to be respected by states that have differing laws, based on the fact that one state government's already given them the nod?
not only a driver's license in Canada, but you can use it in Germany, and your marriage license is good in every state. So I have one from South Dakota. It's good here in Virginia. It says I'm married. I'm glad about that. It helps me out. And I'm reading here, I'm a Constitution man. And it says right here, keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. I lived in New York City. I grew up there. And I was not allowed to carry a weapon. I'm not allowed to buy a gun. I moved to South Dakota and I saw cowboys out there strapped up. I moved to Boise, Idaho, and I got a concealed weapons permit. I didn't own a gun, but I had a concealed weapons permit. I moved to Texas, and the law there is you can strap it on and you can go into bars, you can go anywhere you want, but if you commit a crime with that, you got no excuse. Whether you're drunk, on drugs, or anything, no excuse. And one of the defenses down there is he needed killing. So I do believe in the Second Amendment, and that everyone should be able to carry a gun, and there'd be less crime. Because if you go back in the old West days, you can see there was less crime during there, and only outlaws will carry a gun if we infringe on that right.
Mr. Quigley?
I actually do like the idea of the belief that constitutional rights cannot be overturned by the state and local governments. And there was a recent decision in Washington, D.C. when it comes to gun laws, another one with the Supreme Court with Chicago. And those two decisions pretty much made it clear that the local governments, the city governments, could not tell people that they could not have a gun. So this is a beautiful thing, isn't it? Because think about that. Not only if every one of those rights in the Constitution are equally important, then what the Supreme Court basically said that every right in the Constitution cannot be suppressed by local and state government. And that includes not only your Second Amendment rights, but your First Amendment rights, your right to vote, your right from search and seizure, your right to privacy. And this is just a beautiful thing. And one last thing about licenses. Right now, the biggest thing that they fought against in the pre-Soviet Union Russia was they fought against the requirement to have an internal passport. They asked for papers wherever you went. Papers. Can I see your papers? I want to see your internal passport. And this is the population fought against this. They thought it was ridiculous to be harassed for papers all the time. Well, the Soviets decided they liked the idea and reimposed it after the revolution. Then the Germans came in papers. You remember the Indiana Jones movies? They asked for papers all the time. I just want to say, isn't it ironic that that little thing that you carry around called a driver's license is the first thing that they ask for wherever you go, including police? Thank you.